gonna be funny, damn it. We're gonna beat Jake.
That's right.
I don't know if
the
I
new
want to
fan phase.
I don't want to compete with Jake.
I know, you can't. He's such a comedian, it's like you're not gonna, you know what I mean? He has like the energy to talk.
For sure.
4 days.
4 days. Rise and shine, it's time for D. It's for drama. I'm your host, Shannon D. And today I am joined by a couple of married parents. Please welcome Bernie and Rachel Thrasher.
Couple of married parents.
I love it. It's
very direct distinction.
Yeah, we're nothing but married or parents.
The Bible Belt will love this episode. We are so married.
And so parental.
Now we feel like we're making it up. We are actually married parents.
Yep.
So we're protesting too much.
Almost 50. Well, you've been together for 15 years.
Yes.
Just about, yeah.
And then married for how long?
7. Around 7.
Oh,
Around 7.
It's been a while.
Is adulting still a thing? Because we're pretty adults.
You are. I'm in their home that they bought, folks, in LA.
Yeah, depending on where you're
impressive.
listening, that may or may not be that
like
impressive. Yes. I was recently in a wedding party, and the wedding website listed how the groom knew each one of his people in his wedding party.
Yeah.
And my paragraph was basically just like, you wouldn't expect Bernie to be a father of 2 and a blah, blah. Like, it was just like, that was the only tidbit about me. It was
I
like,
read that. I was like, I think he got tired at the end.
He ran out of things to say.
Ran out of steam by
really
the
did.
time you came around.
Bernie
Oh
is
my
an
God.
adult and a dad.
So we'll lock that in. Yeah.
And that's how you identify, and that's where we'll just leave at.
That's my choice.
Well, we know each other from out here
We
through the ASU crew.
Through the crew.
As you guys know, I don't have any other friends besides my ASU crew. It's all I have on the pod, basically.
That's okay. It's a very successful crew.
That's right. And wait, but I forget how you know them.
I went to college. I went to ASU for a year.
Oh, okay.
I knew Ken, one-time podcast guest.
Yes.
And then, when I moved out to LA, I hit up Ken, even though I didn't know him super well at the time. And he was just like, yeah, come by the apartment. Like we all get together every week and blah, blah, blah. And just immediately I was like, this is my friends. You are my friends now. We're all going to be friends in LA.
Yes.
And then.
Oh, and we were Sadie Hawkins dates.
You and me were prom dates? Sadie Hawkins? It was Sadie Hawkins.
Where a girl had to ask a guy.
That's right.
We were together, but that was before I moved out here.
Yes.
Yes.
And we didn't have dates. So I was like, all right, let's do it.
I was very unthreatened until I saw you in person, and you were significantly taller than me. And it was and you were sitting, I remember specifically meeting you. We were outside, like a group, like one of the friends' homes. You were sitting in the grass, like on the phone. You got off the phone and you stood up to give Bernie a hug and say hi to me. And I just went, oh, now I'm like jealous and kind of intimidated because you're like, but that was how we met.
Because Rachel is on the shorter side, we should say.
5 foot when I stand up tall.
extremely tall.
When you don't hunch.
And I'm 6 foot when I stand up extremely tall. So your eyes are just like, whoa.
Yep, that's basically how that happened. Very like cartoonish.
Well, these two have 2 little boys.
We do. We have a 4.5 and a 2.5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
They're 22 months apart.
Oh, my sister and I are 20.
Yeah.
So very close in age.
Right now the boys we treat them more like twins. Like if one has one thing, then like they both kind of need to have a thing.
Yes.
Like we were at the Renaissance Fair with them, and like people hand out like little trinkets, especially to like kids that they just like bring to Ren Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman gave our 2-year-old like a little trinket, and I like saw him have it and walking back over to show the 4-year-old, and I chased her down to be like, wait, I have 2. Like you need to give me another one. I can't just have one trinket.
It's so true. We've made that mistake so many times of being like, we'll get the old one this toy and the young one a different color of the same. And it's like, get them the exact same toy.
Yeah.
So many times I've made that mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
because
like
they always like want the other thing.
Yeah.
It's always a fight.
It's always a fight. And it's only when they think that they have different toys. Like we have a rule that every toy in the house, like if you get a gift, it's yours for the day that you get it. And then the next day it becomes everybody's toy.
Interesting.
Unless you like make it a special toy. So they have like their little loveys that they sleep with at night, and they're very distinctly like they know whose is whose and that they're like not playing with each other's.
Okay.
But nearly every toy in our house is everybody's toy, so that you can't like, so that we eliminate this fighting thing. But when we're like out and like people are giving them like, it's a little
trinkets or something.
Yeah, little trinkets.
Because you're not buying 2 of every toy.
No.
Yeah. But when
No.
like say your parents or something give a gift, say it's one of their birthdays, how do you do it then?
It's their toy
Oh,
for
for the
that
day.
day, like because it's their birthday toy. And like the 4-year-olds will say like,
Interesting.
tonight the 4-year-old said, oh, like, the 2-year-old is playing with the toy that I got for my birthday. And it's
Mhm.
like not a big deal because they know that even though they know which toys they got for what holiday or whatever, but it's everybody's toy. And it's just like it
I like
simplifies things.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that wouldn't work in every house, but in our house, that's how it works.
Yeah, especially it being like close in age, two
Yeah.
boys. Because then if it's like a boy and a girl, a lot of times they're getting different toys, and they don't
Right.
necessarily want to play with each other's toys, which they should. It shouldn't have to be so.
It's It's
distinct.
a lot less gendered than like we remember it being. Like it's
Yes. Like remember at McDonald's with the Happy Meals, there was like the Hot Wheels Happy Meal toys
Yeah.
and then the Barbies.
Yep.
And it was like, it had to be like, are you a
girls
boy or are
don't
you a
like
girl in the car?
cars.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. But now it's like probably a lot less.
I think so. I mean, I guess it sort of depends on what you buy and like what kind of like philosophy you have. But I pretty rarely see like a very gendered toy in our house, either on either side. Like even like our kids are obsessed with cars.
Mm.
And like we've had other parents be like, oh yeah, boys in their cars. And I'm
Oh,
like, I can't
yeah.
think of anything more gender neutral than
Yeah.
like a box with
Well,
4 wheels
with
on
4
it.
wheels on
Like,
it.
And we all drive them.
Right,
Yeah,
it's-
for real. Well, especially in Los Angeles, right? Like they
They're
exist as much as
everywhere.
bugs
They see the
do.
Cybertruck. They see the old timey cars. They love it. So I think that's a big part of what like led them to liking them.
Yeah, I think that
Interesting.
especially for the 4-year-olds, and like they go to preschool during the week, and every Friday they have like a share toy Friday where they get to bring a toy from home, and then they like practice sharing or whatever.
Mhm.
And I will ask, oh, like what did so and so bring? Like a girl that they're friends with bring for share toy day, and they'll be like, oh, a monster truck, and it's like always they're always because they're like
okay.
they can. And they the way that we would play with dolls like growing up, like
Mhm.
the cars talk to each other and the car like they don't
Oh,
see
right.
it as like they play
Yeah.
the same. It's just the
movie Cars has probably
And they're-
inspired
huge.
that.
They're very obsessed with the movie Cars and the Cars franchise, of course, the spin-off
Mhm.
TV series, and
Yeah,
all the
my
Shark
best friend
cars.
Michelle from back home, she has boys like exactly your guys' age and same. Like the
Yeah.
oldest one particularly loves cars.
something just
Yeah,
unlocked
something in this
new
generation. It must be the movies, honestly.
Yeah.
It must
Came
be.
all the way back.
Because we had like Herbie Fully Loaded or
Oh,
whatever, but
yeah.
it wasn't
The-
that
the crap
in the
that we had to
zeitgeist.
suffer through. Like,
But I guess that movie is like very kind of gender neutral because I feel like you have like the princesses.
right.
And what are the boy movies? I guess like
I-
How
Disney
to
doesn't
Train
do
Your
a ton of
Dragon
boy
and stuff.
movies,
Yeah,
do
they
they?
really
Oh, you
don't.
just mean kids movies in general?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think that we should. I mean, like our kid, our 2-year-old is obsessed with superheroes.
Oh,
But then he
right.
told me yesterday that we were reading a book from the library and it was about like Tiana, like from Princess and the
Oh, yeah.
Frog. And he
Mhm.
goes, that's my favorite superhero. Like he saw her as a superhero. Like they
Oh,
don't
I
know.
love
And so
that.
they just, it's all the same to them. Like they don't apply gender logic.
norms.
It's
Yeah.
it's what society puts on them, and I'm glad that they're
And we should talk
going
about
against it.
society.
Yeah, that's what this episode is about, you guys. But as you all know, I had my episode about how I'm afraid to have kids, and Rachel just got done listening to it,
Yeah, I have
and
thoughts.
she's got some thoughts, just like all of you did.
This is the rebuttal episode
Yeah,
of the
I've
pod.
got notes. I've got some notes.
Please fire away.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one that really, I mean, there were a few things, but the one that really stood out to me was the comments about like what's in formula and that formula that your guest who was kind of like afraid to give their child formula because of the seed oil and like other stuff. And listen, the mom internet is very opinionated about literally
Mhm.
everything.
Oh yeah. I've been on that side of TikTok.
Yeah, it's a scary place to be. And when you are postpartum and you're like nursing in the middle of the night or just holding a baby who's sleeping for hours on end and there's really nothing else to do except stare at your phone in the middle of the night or the middle of the day because you don't know the difference between time.
Yeah.
It's very like hypnotic and it enters your brain like, oh man, the internet, like there's so many things to be afraid of. Listen, formula is one of the most regulated substances in the US for decades. Like Current administration notwithstanding and all of the
Okay.
changes, there are 2 companies, 2 factories in the entire US that make baby formula, that are allowed to make baby formula.
Fact check. Rachel informed me that it was actually 4 companies in the US.
And this is how regulated it is. During COVID, or right after COVID, like 2021, there was a major, major formula shortage in the US.
I remember that.
And it was because one of the 2 factories that are allowed to make formula got shut down because they weren't meeting the specs. It is a highly regulated substance. And the internet will scare you into like, oh, you need to import it from the EU or like because their formula is better. Like you can do that if you want to, but not everyone can afford to do that. And the formula in the US is safe for babies. And what you have to understand is whether you nurse or whether you formula feed, your baby needs to eat. And that is the most important thing. And so scaring moms into nursing because the formula is not safe, or scaring moms into formula because nursing is going to ruin their
Affect
bodies
you or something.
or or like cause you to not sleep, like whatever nursing scary internet stuff there is.
Yeah.
Like it's just not healthy for moms to think that. It's not healthy for them to like be fed this information. Formula is safe. And you can feed your babies. Just feed your babies the way you want to feed them. And don't let anyone but your pediatrician tell you otherwise.
There you go, folks.
Sorry, that was a very long rant, but I had a lot of thoughts on it.
No, I'm glad.
great.
Well, we have
That's
to
great.
correct information around here.
Very
Fact check.
insightful.
Yeah, it really did feel like a fact check.
That's a good point. What you were saying is that, TikTok, the internet, social media, etc., can definitely have, it's the wild, wild west out there. Anyone can hop on and spew misinformation. And I think that's what a lot of mom shame, or in my situation, like has scared me a lot into not having kids, which
Right.
I will have them, but I'm just in that place where I'm like, it's, a little bit of a scary step for me.
Well, and it comes at you from all sides. It scares you from the time you get pregnant, and if you don't have the reaction that TikTok thinks you need to have, you feel like guilty about that immediately, right?
Yeah.
All the way to whether or not you have whether you enjoy being pregnant or not. Like we have a friend right now who's pregnant and she's due next month. She is miserable.
Really?
Yes.
And
Really
she's been really sick. She's really uncomfortable. She did have some level of body difference. Like she had never gaining weight was like a thing for her. And so if you don't love being pregnant, you feel kind of guilty about it because the internet makes it seem like it's this grand thing. The opposite is true. Like the women who don't enjoy pregnancy or don't have the birth experience that the internet thinks that you should have, you feel guilty on both sides. You either have the experience you wanted to have, and then you feel guilty because all these women are talking about not having the experience that they want to have, and vice versa. And there's no winning. And then once the child's actually here, you are surviving on little sleep, on too much information, and on doing something you have never done before, which is care for a human.
Yes.
And there are so many things you have to figure out and do, and the internet can be helpful if the information you are getting from it is from people who are licensed to do so.
Yeah.
I had a lot of conversations with Bernie about my social media consumption right after both of my kids was born. And one of my main rules of thumb was I only follow one account for each type of thing. So one account on child development, one account on eating solids, one account on nursing. And they had to be from people who were registered, from a registered nurse, from a licensed psychologist, from people whose professional career was that thing. Because otherwise you're consuming Kardashian level mom content, and that's
like
just
a game of telephone, because it's you're hearing from what they heard from somebody else and who heard from their pediatrician, who heard from their cousin's pediatrician,
and from people who they're not the right people to listen to, and you don't know their family circumstance, you don't know if they have support, how much money they you don't know anything.
No, that's really smart, because the internet it is an incredible place. There's so much information out there, but that can also be the problem too.
I think people really care. I think new moms really care. They don't want to mess up, sort of what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I always felt that's where a lot of this kind of stems from, is just people, I wouldn't even just say it's moms, I'd imagine to some degree it's a lot of dads too, just really want to get it right. And so a lot of that is like, oh my God, I have to do all this research. I can't just listen to a pediatrician and be like good to go. Like I have to see what other people are doing. And I think it comes from a good place. Like I try to give the benefit of the doubt on that.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times people have like feelings that doctors sometimes are lying, or, you know, they say specific information because they want you to be on some medication that they're getting paid to put you on. And so then there's that too. And then you're like, well, I just want to hear what the moms are saying. But that information isn't always correct either.
Well, yeah. And I mean, moms want to help other moms. Like I tell all the people that are newly pregnant, like you can text me at 3 a.m. when you're awake and the baby won't stop crying. I promise you I will be awake.
Yeah.
Like you need a mom, even now, even with a 4 and a 2-year-old, but like you need a mom crew and you need a mom crew that you can text at all hours who will not be upset if you text them in the middle of the night, and will also be understanding that they will take 3 days to text you back. But I remember the first night we were home with our oldest and I was not okay. Do you remember that? I was not, like I was in a hard spot, and I had 2 different moms call me and they were like, how you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on? You're right. It is really hard.
Yeah.
You're right. This is really challenging, but like you're going to dig deep and you're going to do it. And like, we're going to be here. You call us, you text us. And so that's my gift in return. But that's not coming from social media. That's coming from people to people. And so you find people that you trust. The mom network is strong. You just have to be critical and careful when you're in the mom internet world, because it's
a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole.
It's a tornado.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that you, in the beginning, were getting some information about sleep training. Is that right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shannon, we brought some drama for you.
Tell me.
I would say our big sort of mom internet infused disagreement in terms of like our early parenting was for sure sleep training, which like I feel like if you don't have kids, you're like, what in the world is sleep training? And if you have kids, you're like, oh man, they're gonna talk about sleep training. Like it can get very
polarizing.
Thank you. So Rachel was very anti sleep training with our first kid.
So what is sleep training?
You're right. We should start with sleep.
Because I'm always confused about this.
So can you explain this?
So every time we talk about sleep training, Rachel goes like, what, with the same look you give me, what do you think sleep training is, Bernie?
Because listen, it's so polarizing. There's like there's like different like scientific names for the different kinds of sleep training. There's also just like,
there's different kinds.
It's like the Ferber method and like something else. But it's like,
generally speaking, it's sort of like your brain when you have a young kid is like, oh my God, it's crying, go in there, save it, whatever. But like, you also like, if they're not sleeping through the night, at a certain point, you kind of want to train them to be like, you're okay. Like you've been fed, you've been
self-soothing.
Yes. Yeah. It's like self-soothing.
Okay.
I think part of it is training is a weird word because you're not like training the baby as much as you're like teaching it how you're going to respond to it.
Yeah. You could say that.
Is that like a...
I don't think those are two dissimilar concepts, but fair enough.
This is why we can't even talk about
go. No, we're good. We're good now. This story is a happy ending. No, anyway, so with our first kid, he was a really tough sleeper. Every time a parent tells me, oh my God, my like 2-month-old is sleeping through the night, I'm like, I hate you. Don't talk to me. I didn't sleep for a year, damn it.
I'm still not sleeping.
I know, for real. I brought up sleep training, I don't know, at some point.
Like 6 weeks in.
It was somewhat early. 6 weeks feels harsh, but who knows? Rachel was very firmly no, due to the mom internet.
So was he in a crib in the room?
He was in,
it was like a bassinet in our room at first.
Yeah, it was a bassinet in our room at first.
And then he had his own room with a crib.
And then at 6 weeks, you were like, let's put him in his own room.
No, not like that. It wasn't an own room thing. It was whatever age we both agreed for him to be in his own room. He was still waking up crying. We'd go in there. You're not getting a real night's sleep. And like after like a year, it was like, I was like, oh my God, this is still happening. Cause like in the beginning, you're sort of like, well, you know, kids take some time, blah, blah, blah. And then after a while, you're kind of like, how long has this been? And I like most of my friends who had kids, like were like, oh yeah, I did sleep training. No big deal, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And Rachel was very against it. And at the 1 year mark, maybe even like a year and 2 months, I like looked at Rachel and was like, we are physically dying. Like we have not slept for a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just,
Fucking
it's time
hell.
to sleep train.
Yeah.
Well, and when Bernie says we weren't sleeping for a year and 2 months, what he means is that I wasn't sleeping for a year and 2 months.
When it was, no, I mean, like, and I care about Rachel and it was
Yeah.
really, like,
And it was affecting our
you.
life and affecting
Yes.
you
Yes.
indirectly.
And
Yeah.
because you were just letting him wake you up whenever.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, like I was just responsive, which is part of the reason like we're joking now that I'm not sleeping. It's like every time one of the boys cries,
Well, you'd wake up.
I wake up. Well, not all of us wake up.
Oh.
I wake up. Women are wired. Women are wired slightly differently.
She pointed at me for those of you just listening.
Yeah, and it's, when they're babies, they are eating like every 2 to 3
Right.
hours.
And
you
that's
have
what your
to
brain
wake
is
up.
telling you is they need to eat.
They need to eat, or they're wet, or they're cold, or they're uncomfortable, and they have no other communication besides crying. The internet was telling me that that sleep training is this like modern day phenomena for like, but it's wrong. Like the science around sleep training is wrong. What you're supposed to be responsive to your child, and this like dips into like co-sleeping, which is like when the baby sleeps in the bed with you, which is like
Yes.
definitely
Also
not
controversial.
also
Dangerous
controversial, but
sometimes,
also
right?
like very unsafe when the baby's very, very, it's like,
Yeah.
it just touches on a lot of things that are challenging.
Challenging.
Even when we got past the point where the oldest one wasn't really eating or didn't really need to eat,
Right.
Mhm.
I had trained him that he could not fall asleep without nursing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Now she can use the word training.
Yeah. When
I
it's
had
convenient for
created
you.
a habit.
Oh.
I had created the habit of, and eventually I went to the pediatrician and I was like, I am literally going to end up in the hospital. I am so tired. She said, well, is he waking up consistently every night, like at the same time? And I said, yeah, like between 3 and 3:20, like clockwork. And she
Okay.
was like, yeah, he doesn't need to eat. He just knows that if he cries, like we all wake up in the middle of sleep, in between sleep cycles. That's when you
Mhm.
like readjust yourself.
Right.
If your child doesn't know that they can just like readjust themselves and go back to sleep, they will cry for you to come to them because they know
Okay.
that is what they expect. That is what they have like been understood to be the relationship between you in the middle
Okay.
of the night.
So then sleep training is letting them cry it out until they
Yeah, in a very general
Sleep.
sense. And there's like specifics of like,
How-
it's been a minute since I've done it, but if I remember, it was sort of like you hear them crying, you give them 15 minutes. If they're still crying, you like come up to the door and you make sure they can hear you. You give that another
Okay.
whatever couple minutes. If you're still crying, you come in the room so they can see you. And then if they're still crying after that, then you can pick them up. And so that's like, again, it's been a while and it's very, very generally, that's like the steps.
And this is like where you come into like the different types of sleep training, like how you actually implement it can be
Right.
different. But
Oh, okay.
but generally speaking, like, are you responding to your child when they cry in the middle, like when they
Mhm.
fall asleep at the beginning of the night and in the middle of the night? Like that was where my head was, where I was like, I have to be responsive for as long as they need.
How long was like the going back and forth between you two of like you wanting to sleep train and you?
I think like
a good
almost the
question.
first full year, like basically
Damn.
until
Somewhere around there, yeah.
I let you, until you forced me.
I was, yes.
You were
that's,
like,
it was
you-
very, like,
you
it
were like,
was
"You're
dramatic.
going
It
to
was
die."
very like, dude, yeah, basically. Like, I was like, this is like, I'm not gonna get too into the details of everything, but like, you physically looked like you could not keep going this way.
Yeah, I joke about it a lot, but I really do think I was gonna like, I was a couple months away from like 1950s actress style, like landing in the hospital for exhaustion. Like
Yes.
Oh my God.
yeah, I mean, and even now, like my sleep patterns are nuts.
Yeah.
I can sleep for 10 hours and then be awake for 2 hours. And when then the 2-year-old goes down for a nap, I will also go nap. Like
Oh,
it
so
is.
you can just like
Yeah,
pass
I can
out.
fall asleep in 5. Well, I either can fall asleep in 5 minutes with zero problem, or it takes me 3.5 hours to fall asleep. Like there is
Yep.
no in between.
Well, if any of you guys listeners out there did it a different way, write in. I'll have to have another episode with another
I'd
rebuttal.
love to respond to anybody who writes in.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
I'd love to see what they say because it's very.
It's a polarizing topic.
It really,
It's oh my
in a
gosh.
very specific sector, it really is.
Now,
In
did you
one-
guys get into like big heated arguments about it?
I have the night that I told you were going to die. Like, I have a vivid memory of like, not like yelling it, but like very aggressively saying it to you. But I do remember that the night that I read her the riot act was like very, very like
Like after he
dramatic,
was a
aggressive.
year
Yeah,
old.
when he was like a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, not at like this. That's, I don't think we went into it, but like the first, like however many months, like 6 months when I was first bringing it up, I was pretty, like, I was reasonably reasonable, being like, all right, she doesn't want to do it. Like,
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
we'll see how it goes. Sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and because I'm like a research parent,
Right.
I'm like
You care.
I care, and my care comes through like how many articles can I read and how many like videos can I watch, and your care comes through like, but my child is here in front of me, and I'm going to like gut instinct parent, and that surprised me. I was like, wait, you don't need to do any research on this topic.
In fairness to my point of view, I also like know that you're doing all the research, so I'm
mental load.
Well done.
A whole other episode.
There is a whole episode on relationship dynamics and who takes the mental burden of situations.
Blah blah.
I did know that you did quite a bit of research, and I did do a lot of research like before the kid came, and so I sort of was a little bit like, okay, like I'm gonna try and balance you out when I think that like, you know, maybe you're missing what's right in front of you, for example. So that was, I guess, like I am trying to kind of yin and yang this thing a little bit. It's not like I just choose to be ignorant. It's more like, well, Rachel's doing all this research. I'll just sort of see if it's going too far, like, you know.
Yeah, or if something's not working out.
Or something's not right, exactly. And I think it's a good example of it, of like,
I think like in any part of parenting that we like don't see eye to eye on, a lot of what is fueled by the mom internet, you're usually like very good at being like, but we're here. Like,
right.
Let's take a step back and like look at what's going on. And I think that's important in in your partner dynamic. Like you need to have the one who's sleeping fully grounded in like
I sense
what's
some resentment in that.
Only slightly. My favorite is when I go on a work trip. Like the boys will have woken up every night, and I'll go on like an overnight like work trip for a day or two. And I'll be like, "Oh, did you have to wake up?" And he'll go, "No." And I'm like, "What?" But then the second I come home, I'm like, "You're just not waking up."
That's
well, maybe that's it.
That's my theory, is that they are crying out the same amount. It's just that you're so hypersensitive to it, and I'm just not as sensitive to it.
Which might be biological.
Yeah, totally.
As a mom.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out, and I'm glad they're sleeping now.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
A lot of unpacking there.
Yeah.
That felt very therapeutic.
Good. I'm glad.
To unpack. We haven't like
therapy sesh.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. D.
I know.
Dr. D.
Dr. D.
I mean,
I love that.
That's a different podcast.
It's a different podcast. That's funny. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned a work trip, and I did ask my listeners on Instagram. I put up a poll. How long, when you go away, does it take for you to miss your kids? And I put less than 24 hours, 1 to 2 days, 3 to 7 days, and then I don't really miss them. I need the break.
That's so funny. Well, Rachel, you were recently gone for 11-ish days, 9 days.
Hell yeah.
That
Where'd
was
you
my
go?
other feedback for your last episode.
Tell me.
When that husband was having a conniption because his wife wanted to like go on a break like to Europe, and I was laughing, and I texted Bernie and said, "This is funny because I literally just got back from Europe by myself."
Yeah, Rachel got a European vacation
European vacation.
Recently. For all you listeners who are like, "Oh, Rachel's not sleeping, Bernie's sleeping, what a jerk." Just remember the 9-day Europe vacation.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Without any kids.
Without any kids. Which like all joking aside, I had no issue with.
What was the...
Oh, I went to Sweden for a conference and to like
it was
visit
work?
some friends.
Come on.
No.
Oh.
And then it was a lot of fun.
Mostly fun. Are you going to tell
That's
us
a
the
good
poll
question.
results first?
No. Let's be
You do yours
unbiased. Let's be
first.
unbiased.
How long would it take you? I go away overnight more often than you do.
I do a lot of weekends when I do go away. I would say.
And I'm talking like achingly miss them.
Achingly?
Oh.
Or not like it doesn't have to be like achingly, but it's like, you know, like I can say like, oh, I miss my boyfriend. He just left yesterday for a work trip or whatever. But like sometimes there's like, oh my God, I'm like really missing. Like I'm missing him in my soul. It's not just like,
That's a good
oh yeah, I
question.
miss having you around kind of thing.
Well, first I would say that like that first 24 hours, like any parent who says that they miss their child after 24 hours is not parenting very much during the week.
This is actually, I forgot that we have this theory about this.
Yes.
About
Wait, what?
parents.
Well, How much of a tangent are you down to get into during the poll question, Shannon?
As long as you want, I can cut it out if we need to.
None of this makes the pod. I heard this on another podcast. I'm kind of paraphrasing.
Plagiarism.
But it was something like whenever you see those like parents online that are just like every day is a gift from God with this little angel.
Yeah.
That's like a red flag for any parent to just be like, oh, you don't actually do any of the work and you're like, you have a nanny and you have a housekeeper and
you put the iPad on all the
and
time.
you put the iPad on.
It's
and
like overcompensating too.
Yeah.
Like
that as
online
well.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like a real parent would be like, I love my kid. It's worth it. But to pretend like it's easy is it's a lie.
You're not in the
So, like,
trenches,
Right.
clearly.
So that's why I was like,
Right.
well, that first 24 hours, anyone who says that they achingly miss their child after 24 hours is not doing that much parenting. Like, like just whatever. Come at me in the comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say that I achingly will probably take probably at the end of day 3, maybe end of day 4, somewhere between 3 to 4 days.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Where you're like craving, it's almost like a homesick feeling, I guess.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, like a normalcy. Like you miss having them around. I think also parenting becomes so all consuming when you're doing it that it's not like an aching missing for the all consumingness. It's like the rose colored glasses, like, oh man, like I haven't heard my kids laugh in a couple days. And like that sounds like fun. Like I miss the fun, like when they're like playing with each other. When I went on my 9-day trip, and when I go on a work trip, it's usually like 2 or 3 nights max, maybe 4. This was the longest I'd ever been in 4 years away from the boys.
Yeah.
And I was real burnt out. And so
Yeah,
I
from parenting, you mean?
from parenting and from work
It's
and from
everything.
it's
Right?
everything.
Like we work full time. We're doing all the chores and everything. Yeah, like we
Well,
don't have a nanny. We don't have a housekeeper. We don't have anything.
Well, and we don't have
family.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's what I was gonna say.
Good
All of our
point.
families in the other coast, so it's just us.
Yeah.
And so
that's
it's
hard.
constant. Yeah. And so I was really burnt out, and I really, that's why like the story from the other episode of the mom wanting to get away like really resonated with me because I understand that like it is a fundamental shift in not only like your physical and like mental state, but like your freedom and your time. And I wouldn't change it at this stage in my life for anything, but I'm still human. Like I still want to have an identity, and at 4 years in, am craving like my pre-parent identity. And so being able to go on this like trip, and we talked about the length of the trip because the conference I was going for was only a couple of days. And we settled like we thought like 9 days, like a little over a week felt reasonable for Bernie to handle on his own with 2 kids.
And like she's going to Europe. It's like, go.
Yeah, if you're
not going to be
taking
on a
that
flight. Exactly.
Yeah.
I sent them videos every night. I sent him pictures to show them like every day. I was like, I found this like really cool flower that the 4-year-old will like, and like look at this cool like car, and like here's pictures, because they asked me for pictures of like all the planes and trains and stuff, and so I sent them video. Like I was doing it constantly to share the experience. I wouldn't say that I like achingly missed them while I was gone, and I don't even really feel guilty. Like I don't even know if I feel guilty saying that.
Yeah.
I do remember on my last night the night before I flew home, I texted Bernie and said, I'm like super ready to go home. Like I'm really excited. I didn't miss them or like achingly miss them, but I was super excited to go home. And when I was waiting for them to pick me up at the airport, I was just like glowing with how like excited it was going to be when they all were in the car to come get me. Like my boys are coming to get me. And that feeling isn't something I could have had the week before I left.
You needed that break.
Yeah. So I think like you can miss aspects and pieces of your kids, but I think everyone deserves a break and not feel, because,
guilty.
Yeah. And not feel guilty because you feel like if you don't miss them, you're supposed to feel guilty.
Yes.
Which does sort of go back to like your earlier point about like what the mom, we'll just call it the internet. It isn't
mom talk.
Whatever the internet kind of says, like, oh, like this should be your birth experience. Like, oh, you should miss the kid. It's like, it sort of kind of all goes back to that, where it's almost like you have this weird social pressure But like they don't make the rules, you know, like you don't need this burning feeling inside of you to like know that you love your kids and that you really want to see them. Like,
Well, or like the internet's validation that
right.
what you're
In
feeling
the
is
specific
accurate.
framework that the internet determined to be acceptable, I guess is my
Yes.
point.
The funniest thing that happens when I go away for a work trip and I'm away from my kids is people will be like, and your husband will be okay?
Oh my
Your husband can
God.
handle that? And I'm like, well, he's their dad.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually my husband's really capable. And the internet will also try to tell you that your husband's not capable. And like, look at how like silly and uninformed my husband is and like
The
how much
babysitter
prep I have.
husband.
The babysitter husband theory. And I'm like, I don't know. I can like leave on a work trip for 4 days and not have to like leave a long list of things that like you need to remember or you
Yeah.
need to do or
You just
you
know
need to
how
like
to do it.
Yeah, he's their
Good.
dad.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Like-
Like my favorite thing, and Rachel kind of jokingly hates this, is we live right by a grocery store, and like we'll sleep in every other weekend.
Oh, and take
And
turns.
We'll
Yeah.
take turns just waking up with the kids
in the
like,
mornings. Yeah.
sleep in, have your morning, and usually I'll take the kids to the grocery store. And when Rachel takes the kids to the grocery store by her, or well, I guess the better way to tell the story is when I take the kids to the grocery store, everyone in that grocery store is just like, "You go, super dad." They think I am like God's gift to children.
You're kidding.
And I come home and I'm glowing, and I'm just like,
his head is so
I'm
big.
like Rachel, I
head's
just got
so
so
big.
many confidence. in
I'm
this
the
grocery
best
store.
dad in the
And
world.
she's always just like, I go there with those kids all the time.
Yeah.
Fucking
No
nobody
one.
says shit to me.
Not a word.
Wow.
It's societal
infuriated
expectations
me.
of men.
Yeah, and so I think it's
You
don't
don't like it
Oh, I just think
Hell
that it's I don't like it for
no.
you.
because I'm happy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
No, not the grocery store thing. I don't like having to like explain to people
Oh, you're
how
talking about yours.
yeah, for you. Like I think it's like
Oh, you think it's like an insult to him? That
I mean, I think it's an insult to dads everywhere. There's like
It's like a stereotype.
There's like
Yeah.
a stereotype, but there's also this like there was like I can't remember if it was New York Times or Washington Post had like an article that millennial dads are spending like 60%. I made up the statistic. It was a significantly high statistic. All
Yeah.
statistics are made up, but it's a very high percentage of time.
We start with like, these moms are lying to you, and then
I'm
now
not
we're like,
lying
all
to you.
stats are made up.
All
Don't
stats
trust
are
the
made up.
Washington Post.
I just don't know. Just that I don't remember what the statistic
Of course,
is.
go ahead.
There was a news article that I read from a reputable news source that millennial dads are significantly more engaged
Yes.
than the generation 2 generations before.
Yeah.
And I see
Which,
that.
by the way, sorry, go ahead.
I see that in all of the parent friends that we have who are
Absolutely.
in our age bracket.
Yes.
And so I get frustrated for you because on your behalf, I need to justify that you are a good dad.
Mm.
And some people really push back on wait, so you really are leaving? Like he doesn't have any help for the next 3 days? It's like,
Wow.
no.
And they would never say it reverse, right?
No world.
Like when you go
No.
away.
No
Because
world.
I do understand it being like, oh my God, 9 days alone with the kids.
Yeah.
But it's always about the fact that you're a man.
Yeah,
and
well,
you're
and
a
especially
woman.
sort of what she was just saying, like 3 days is like, that's a weekend. Like that's nothing.
Yeah.
You were gone for 4 days. We
Yeah.
were nights passing or ships passing in the night.
We were nights passing
Nights
the ship.
passing
Yeah.
the ship.
We were-
I'm tired. Like you were gone for the 4 days. You were gone
Right.
Thursday through Sunday,
Yes,
and then on Monday we were both home, and then I left on Tuesday.
we
So
high-fived.
we literally high fived as I was walking out the door, and no one had that reaction when you were gone,
Yeah.
as when I told people I was going to be gone
It's
for any length
infuriating.
of time. And I'm gone overnight a lot more. Like during the week, I'm gone a lot more than you.
Yeah,
Now, is it always older people saying it?
that's a good question. Because it's a lot of your coworkers, is it not?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's also a couple coworkers that I have who are parents of young kids who are
Who
always
don't have the help
Yeah.
from their husband.
or yeah. Well, I think like the husband is the one who's always like, wait, your husband is like okay with this? Like I don't. But I think it's also that he's not sure his wife would be okay with him watching their kid
Mm.
alone, which is also kind of like this weird dynamic where I'm like,
Oh.
I don't know. We have like a pretty like as 50, 40
We try to help each other out when we can.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, I'll just give the percentages.
Yeah, let's jump. Let's get back
Remember
to the
when
poll.
we were talking about a poll?
All this will be cut.
53, no. 53% said less than 24 hours. And you
Aching
are
missing.
all bad parents.
That's right.
You are not involved.
We've exposed 53% of your listener base, Shannon.
And then 29% said 1 to 2 days. And 12% said 3 to 7 days. And 6% said, I don't really. I need the break.
Wow.
And that's what Rachel voted as well. So we're going to up that percentage.
Yeah.
We'll up it. I don't want to say that they're bad parents. I don't ever want to call parents bad parents. Well,
It's in
I
jest.
sometimes want to
We
call.
would love to call someone a bad parent by the end of this pod.
Yeah. We'll get there. Don't worry.
I think that there's some people who have never spent a night away from their kids. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's probably, we can move on. You've got that.
Yeah.
part.
It just,
I was going to start saying stuff, but I'm going to regret it.
We're going to end every statement from now on with, you can cut that.
You can cut
that
out. Right? Please don't make me sound like a jerk. Please don't have people send hate mail to my home. Mom
I'll give them your
and that address again, Rachel, is.
All right, so this segment is 2 sides to every pancake, and we're going to get 2 sides from the mother and the father of a little dispute. Okay?
This is what we're here for, Shannon.
Someone else's dispute. Great. Love this for me.
Let's hear from Roy first. I love my wife, Linda, but when summer comes and things get hot, I think she gets a little stressed with our kids. We're in the middle of a heat wave, and while my 2 young daughters, Ethel and Mabel,
Those are
really old,
very old names.
very old school.
Are Ethel and Mabel perhaps the ghosts of children who died in a well in the 30s?
Yes, this whole thing is a ghost story, actually.
Loving the pod.
I love it and I want to spend time outside in our garden, but Linda complains. I think a nice summer in the UK is cause for celebration. After work, I love to come home and play with the kids in our garden. Sometimes that means a water fight. I taught them how to fill up balloons and bought them water pistols, but Linda wasn't a fan. She said I'm teaching them how to be rough and that water fights make too much of a mess. I told her to relax. It's summer. I think the girls should be able to make the most of their time outdoors. It's so much better than playing on their iPads inside.
Amen.
Recently, the girls wanted to get the paddling pool out and Linda wouldn't let them. She says it is a waste of water, which is true, but we only fill it up once a year and reuse the water. Linda says the water gets dirty easily and also worries about the girls getting sunburned if they are outside too long. Sometimes she will complain about them dripping water inside the house. I am a more hands-on parent and don't mind all of that stuff. I tell her I'll do the bed and bath time routine with the girls and clean up any mess, but Linda moans anyway.
Linda.
This is such a girl mom story.
Yeah, they have no idea.
I have no idea how much I would kill for all of that for the kids outside.
You're like, that's nothing. Linda is great with the housework and cooking and is a full-time stay-at-home mom, but sometimes I think she needs to let her hair down and be a bit more playful. I do think the hot weather is the main thing getting to her. She says, I'm too hot. I can't concentrate on anything as soon as the temperature gets over 25 degrees Celsius, which is...
In real temperature, please.
77? That's not even that hot.
Linda's got to cool her crumpets.
I know, for real. Linda should try to get into the summer spirit with me and the kids. I know she spends all day in the house, which can be tough, whereas I come back from work and probably get the best of the good times with the girls. Even so, if she relaxed a bit over the paddling pool and the hot weather, that would be nice for all of us. What the hell is a paddling pool?
I was going to ask you if you knew what that was.
Oh, it's just like a blow-up pool.
Oh, okay.
Like
a kiddie pool or whatever.
I mean, I'm on his side. What can I say? I feel like I'm curious to hear how she is
I have
differing.
some theories on what her side is going to be.
Yeah.
That was very insightful of him. I will say at the very end to be like, maybe I'm just getting the fun them and she's dealing with the stressful version of them.
Exactly.
Because that is a very without that sentence, you are sort of like, what is going on here? But with that at the end, you're like, oh, that's a really good point. Like, because we definitely have a version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you can feel
Yeah.
it when one person had to deal with the tough times and the other person comes home and they're just here to have fun.
Whether it's like I had a tough time putting the boys to bed and you came home after, or whether I like left to go run errands and
Yes.
like
So
in a
that's
couple of hours. Yeah.
That's very insightful. I will say that on the surface, I think he's being pretty reasonable. Kids should be playing outside, not on an iPad. I mean, like, there's a time and a
Yes.
place for an iPad. It's just like
I
if
al-
it's the summer and you're in
Yeah.
London in the 30s, I mean, it just seems great.
In the 30s.
In the 30s.
This is a callback to the
Oh,
name joke.
Ethel
It's
and
okay.
Mabel.
They both looked at me so seriously. No, I on the surface, I tend to agree with this guy. With the only caveat just being like, okay, let's hear her side of it. Is it really this thing of like she's exhausted, she needs a break, she doesn't want to deal with like an even bigger mess, and maybe he's underrepresenting how big the mess is and how much he's actually cleaning? That's that's the only thing I could see.
Because if she is
Yeah.
like cleaning all day long, or she's a
Right.
stay-at-home mom,
Totally.
so she has to clean up the girl's mess, and then it's like you come home and you're like, oh my God, we just got the house clean, and now you're putting water in.
In the
Yeah.
pool and
Yeah.
it's like dragging like mud and stuff in. Yeah. I mean, I can
Yeah, and
guess
he didn't say mud, but I feel like there was an
implied that
she's got to be upset about mud, because like just being upset about water is
well, and if they're outside, like the
less-
house, I love when the boys play outside because they're like, you make a mess outside and then we'll
Yes.
just strip you down and
Yeah.
towel you off and
In
shove
front
you
of the
in
neighborhood.
in front of the neighborhood.
which we do.
Little boys, man. And like but the inside of the house stays relatively clean when that happens. So
Mhm.
I'm interested to hear what her side is, but I feel like a lot of it is that she is overstimulated and overworked.
Mhm.
And
But you almost feel like you would be like, yeah, please go outside and play
Well,
with
yeah.
them.
That's
Like
sort
I want to
of-
relax on the
well,
couch.
and also like water balloons have those little like plastic pieces. I'm sure she gets annoyed that you picked up, but like isn't
She's
that
clear. She's an established environmentalist. She cares about the wasted water.
That's true. And maybe the wasted balloons too.
yeah, okay. I
Which
mean, I'm
I
an
get
environmentalist. I get
that.
the water thing, but like you're in London. How much like you're surrounded by water.
They've got water.
They
there.
got water.
It
And
rains
you're-
a lot.
And you're probably like not using like your AC bill is probably normally nothing. Like you're going through a heat wave for what, a week out of the entire year in the UK. So it's not like you probably have all of these energy bills like we do out here. I feel like our
Right.
energy
Yeah.
bills are crazy all summer for like 6 months out of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I think that like to his point, you're chasing the memory making moments when kids are young. Like
Mhm.
what are the core, like you're trying to make some good core memories. Because we
Yes.
all have not such good memories, but like you're trying, especially during the summer, like that sounds
Oh,
like core
there is
memory
nothing
making.
more fun than a water balloon fight.
And they're just getting wet. I almost wonder if it's like that's why I made a joke about like, this is such a mom, like a girl mom story, because
You're like, that's nothing.
like what, I just don't understand like what kind of mess, unless he really isn't doing the cleaning or she doesn't trust him
I know.
to do the cleaning that she feels like it needs to be done. And if that's the case, I feel like she just needs to talk to him and be like, yo, when you say you do cleaning, you're also missing like these 3 things. And if you do these 3 things, and I can like leave the house or like go read my book.
I know, that sounds so nice.
This is like a Bluey episode where mom just needs 20 minutes.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing we're not really focusing on is the whole heat argument that he's making.
Mm.
I guess everybody knows their partner well. That argument feels very paper thin to me.
Oh, the hot
Yeah, 'cause
weather
she's
is
a
what's
hot-
Being
getting
like,
to
I think
her.
she's just hot and needs to calm down.
Well, then maybe she should play with the water balloons.
I
Yeah, come
know.
outside.
It feels a little flimsy.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, I guess
just-
like it's if your partner is like gets angry when they're hungry,
I guess.
and she gets angry when she's hot.
It almost seems like she might be a little bit of a helicopter mom.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how like instead of being able to remove yourself and like lay on the couch and watch an episode of your favorite TV show while your husband is playing with them outside, it's almost like she wants to be a little bit too in control of everything. So it's almost like she feels like she has to be involved in it instead of like,
Maybe.
okay, maybe why are you so on top of us? Let me like make these memories
let
with
the
my
kids,
girls.
Well, like let the kids spill a little bit. You almost feel like, I think we talk about this a lot where we're like, you got to let the kids like fall down and spill and like kind of make their little mistakes. And like, I feel like that's where he feels like he's coming from, is just like, let them go outside, let them play around, let them get dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want your kids to be afraid of dirt.
You don't want your kids to be afraid of dirt.
or like mess. Like teach the. I mean, I don't think they said how old the girls were.
Oh no.
But
well,
like
they're 84 and 86.
86.
Right. Well, technically they're
Um,
eternally 7,
eternally
but
but yeah, I think like I think you need to teach them to clean up after themselves.
that was the other half. I was like, how
Yeah,
much
such a good
like
point.
how much like parenting advice can we give them of like, hey mom, like maybe you teach them if they make the mess, they're cleaning it up and blah blah blah. You know,
How does that work? Has that been working? I mean, I know your boys are young, but
We're just introducing that to the 4-year-old. It's hard because the 4-year-old will try to clean up. Like I've introduced
then
the
it makes
and then
more
the
of a
2-year-old
mess.
comes and like messes up all his shit. So, but
it takes a lot of repetition.
It takes a lot of repetition.
It's not simple.
They clean up at
Mm.
school, right?
Okay,
and so
that's
just
good.
teaching them to clean up at home and take care of their stuff. Also, like if you put the thing away, you will know where it is when you want it. I'm not keeping track of like all 800 of your Hot Wheels. So
yeah.
so many Hot
Truly.
Wheels.
yeah, so we're starting that now because they're kind of like at the age where they'll understand, and I'll play like, oh, like let's see how fast we can clean up all these blocks, and I'll start counting, and they'll
Make
be
it
like,
a little
ah, and
game.
they'll like do
That's
it, yeah. So you know,
cute.
we're introducing that concept, but they generally,
But you did for a while. You were a little nervous about like the cleanliness. There was the
yeah.
We're
there
gonna
was the
duke it
infamous
out
egg
again.
situation.
You really want
Tell
to talk about the
us.
eggs?
The year was 2023.
Rachel was trying to avoid
I
this
want to
story.
preface that as a sensory activity, I used to let the older one play with like dry oatmeal and
Yes.
bowls in the kitchen.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then I go to nap, I think, and
Yes.
I come out from a nap, Shannon.
Yes.
And why don't you tell the rest of the story, Bernie? What was my 4-year? Well, no, at the time he was the 4
Like 2 or 3.
Yeah, the
probably.
oldest one was 2 or 3.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What was he playing with?
He was playing with a raw egg in a bowl
A raw egg.
on the floor.
You know, the kind that can give you salmonella.
Oh my god. Putting
Did
his
you at
hands
least-
in his mouth.
Did you at least explain he shouldn't eat it?
I told him not to eat it.
Did he listen?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
My bigger concern was that he was going to forget to wash his hands and then go about his day. And then,
Which
as
is-
one does, put their hands in their mouth. I saw.
A raw egg, Shannon.
A raw egg.
And like, thank goodness it
How
wasn't
did
like
that even happen?
I.
I was on YouTube. And instead of being on the mom sphere, I
You're
got
on dad's.
Rachel gets the mom sphere. I get Neil deGrasse Tyson. noted parental expert Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh my god, what did he say?
He was like, he for some reason was talking about kids playing with eggs, and he saw some mom telling her kid not to play with an egg. Which,
Uh-huh.
by the way, in whatever scenario actually happened to Neil deGrasse Tyson, I'm sure it was a very reasonable moment to tell your kid, don't play with that egg. Like, I'm sure it
Uh-huh.
was like, you're gonna get salmonella or something like that. But Neil, like, to his whatever interview person he was talking to, was like, and I said to myself, no, play with the egg. Like, learn about gravity. The egg opens up, learn about what's inside the egg. Explore the mind. And I'm like sitting there, just being like, you know what? Good thought, Neil. Like, let's do
Hell
this.
yeah,
And we
Neil.
had like one egg left. I was like, this is great. Very important note. This was before the egg shortage.
I was gonna say you wouldn't do that with egg
You would
prices
never
these
do that
days.
these days.
Hell
that would be
no,
insane.
you would not.
But back
That's a
in
$25 egg right there.
I know, for
Fabergé.
real. But in 2023, we could let our 2-year-olds play with eggs. So
Oh my
I
God,
just
that's
thought,
so
cool, no harm, no
funny.
foul. Just stay on top of it. And then Rachel got very upset at me when she awoke from her nap.
And this is why I'm interested to hear what the mom has to say, because in my mind, I
Yeah.
was like looking at you and I was like, sure, Neil deGrasse Tyson told you to do this fun science experiment. He probably didn't mean with a 2-year-old, but whatever.
Yeah, good
But
point.
I was looking at you and I was like,
It's fair.
in my sleep deprived state, because at that point we would have had both kids, I was like, do I trust you to clean up the egg
Yes,
the way
and
that
you-
I would want you to clean up the egg?
And she did not think this. She said it very
Oh.
directly to me.
I
As she
forgot
should.
to actually said it out loud. Yeah, so that was one of the moments I was like, we couldn't do this outside. Like, we had to do this.
Yeah, you had a
Was
lot
it
of
getting all over the place?
Yeah, he got it pretty good. Not like all over the place, but like I thought it would be contained in the bowl, and it was not contained in the bowl. It hit the
Raw
floor. It got on
egg.
his like
That's
clothes
so
a little
hard
bit.
to clean, too.
It was a Ricky Parent mistake on your
It was
part.
a
I think.
kitchen. I mean, it wasn't
was
like
a
I was doing it in the
science
living room. It
experiment,
was a
Rachel.
science experiment. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Told you to do
He
it.
told him to do it.
Well, then he can
And you
come to
know
my house
what?
and clean up all the egg off the floor.
And he did. That's how the story ends. We met Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He came, he cleaned an egg, he left.
And he's the godfather of the child,
And he is the
right?
godfather. That's why our children's name are Neil and Tyson.
You renamed them.
Yeah.
Renamed them after the egg.
Legally.
All right, should we read the defense?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do want to
Let's hear
Ms.
Leon's
understand.
point of view.
Linda.
I want to know how accurate I feel.
We did a lot of speculation, and I am
Yeah.
curious.
All right, let's see. Summer is great if you are young and child-free, but we are not anymore.
Ooh.
Of course, I love my girls, but during the heat wave, the stress of staying at home all day with them definitely gets a little more intense. Roy doesn't see what goes on in the day when I am the carer.
Fair.
When it's
Sorry.
hot,
Caregiver.
yeah, I don't.
Don't
they're-
correct
They're,
her.
Sorry.
they're English, you know. They just say things wrong.
Put using things that don't belong.
I don't like that.
When it's hot, school will occasionally finish early, so I'll have to be at home with our daughters. They are really hyperactive in this heat. Ethel always moans about being uncomfortable and sweaty.
Sorry.
Mabel
It's so
constantly
brutal.
constantly begs for ice cream. I tried to keep them busy with iPad games and language lessons. I think it's good to have them focused on productive things. But then Roy comes home at 5 p.m. and wants to get them completely hyped up again in the garden. He is super playful,
Mhm.
which I love, but being in the garden every day creates extra mess, and I like to keep a tidy home. I don't have a problem with the odd water fight, but Roy will go nuts and let the girls fill up multiple balloons, and I worry about disturbing the neighbors. I also think the paddling pool is a bad idea. I don't care if it's 30 degrees Celsius, which is like, what, 100?
Very hot.
It's got to be some amount of.
We
real
shouldn't
heat.
be wasting that much water. Plus, after one dip, it's filled with soil and muck from the girls' feet, which makes it really unhygienic. I sound like a misery guts, but I just prefer organized fun for my kids. Card games, online entertainment, reading. We live in a cul-de-sac in a small town. Everyone knows everyone, and I don't need my kids shouting and screaming outside until it's time for bed. When summer comes, it seems that all routine and discipline go out the window. Often the girls don't want to go to sleep if they've been playing all evening with Roy in the garden. I don't want to play bad cop all the time, but I seem to be. Roy needs to see things from my perspective. I am at home all day with the kids. I have a good routine for them during the summer holidays, and although I love that he wants to play with them, it should be more contained, and the water fights need to
I
stop.
love that perspective wise. He said that he plays outside with the girls, and she said he plays in the garden. I
This is the
I thought that was a
garden.
very-
Garden.
It really kind of goes to show you like where she's coming from mentally in terms of her like I like organization. Like they're not outside, they're in
Yes.
the
The garden.
garden.
She she definitely likes things to be a certain
A
way.
certain
Yes.
way. Okay.
hit them, Rach.
Let's hear it.
I think that it's important as a recovering perfectionist and
Yes.
a recovering type A human that as a mom, you let go the tidiness of your home and like the glares of your neighbors.
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
I had to get over that when we moved into this house.
Well, you're letting them run around naked in the garden.
Well, I am running
I would
around
kill for a
naked.
garden.
And the noise and like the boys like playing in the
Yeah.
front yard instead of the backyard. It's their preferred place right now. And I think that there's just this ability to let go of some of that for the sake of like your own mental peace is
True.
important
Mm.
and for the sake of like your children's fun. So
Yes.
like if the problem is that he's coming home every day, like, and you want more scheduled fun, then
Mhm.
like
or scheduled fun.
or scheduled fun, then like maybe that's like a special thing that you do on Fridays during the summer because it's
Mm.
like it's it's Friday night, it's fun, it's the end of the week, like you can have a little
Mhm.
break. Like if the house gets messy, you have like the dad is home, like the husband's
Mm.
home. Like maybe you make it like a special like thing that you're not doing every single day. The part that I can relate
Yeah, my brain also
to.
the light
Here we
turned on as well
go.
in this moment.
Just because the way our work schedules work out, I put the kids to bed most of the time alone Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays
Okay.
during the week because
Mhm.
Bernie is in his office across town
Oh, right.
and doesn't always get home in time for bedtime. When I have had this like calm, chill evening and like we're at the very end of bedtime and this one, Father of the Year comes in.
Super dad.
Super dad
Some
comes
people
in.
at the local grocery store call me that.
The boys will lose their ever-loving minds.
Excited.
And I will leave the room.
Uh-huh.
I will leave
I've
the
noticed.
room when he comes in because I'm like, he's going to get them all riled up and then it's not my problem anymore. Like
Yeah.
you are now in charge of putting them children down. So I can understand how like getting them super amped up at the end of the day
Yes.
can be challenging. And this also makes me think that they're like pretty young girls. If that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I still think I was on the side of the dad though. Like I still think that you need to have freedom and space to have mess in your life. I don't know. It can be hard. I'm also not a stay-at-home mom, and so I don't have to play that like role.
Yeah, you're not
in the home.
caregiving for or carering for the full whatever 12 hours.
Yeah.
I will say it's almost like I'd give it like 80-20. Like I think the husband is about 80% right. The wife is about 20% right.
Yeah.
And I will say my light bulb in my brain also went off very much at the whole comes home at the end of the day, riles them up. I was like, as the guy who has riled up children at the end of the day, like I have been wrong before.
I've literally
Like, I will be
told you
wrong
not
again.
to go in there into their room at the end of like when you get home right at the end of bedtime.
And
It's probably hard though because you want to see them.
I want to
right?
see them, and then I get excited. It's listen. I'm. There needs to be a world where I know how to go in there and very calmly
be
and politely be like, "I love
gentle.
you guys," but I see them and I get excited, and they're like, "Can we?" And I'm like, "All right, well, let's do it." And then like it's too much.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that I am in the wrong,
But
and
then you have to put them to sleep.
yeah, and then I'm the one who like for the next hours like, "Oh my
You're
god,
like,
how
"Fuck,
are they
why
still
did I
up?"
do
And
that?
Rachel just gives me the look.
And I'm like, you
'cause
kind of did
she's
this to
right, for
yourself.
sure. Oh, I
you know?
100% did.
You know why?
And that is what the wife in this story is experiencing emotionally. And so I sympathize with her.
Yes.
She's got to kind of relax her rules a little bit about this other stuff.
Well, and you know, if she's on the mom internet, like there's also tons of content about how hard summer can be because your routine is completely
Totally
different. It's like
off.
much more fluid. And I can understand, like, I remember like heat waves as a kid. Like you don't want to go to bed because it's like hot and sticky
Oh
and,
yeah, yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So I can understand that it's more stressful. I think in those moments, then there has to be a way to relinquish control to your partner. Like, cool, if this is what you want to do with them, then
100%.
you're also in charge of putting them to bed that night
100%.
because I've been parenting all day and I had to like figure out what to do with them, whether it's structured playtime or not. But I think it's important for kids' development to also have like that freedom.
Yeah, and fun bonding with the dad too. He's been at
Totally.
work all day, so he hasn't been able to like connect
Totally.
with them.
Yeah.
So of course you want to come home and like and play with them.
Yeah, and you're gonna
But-
again core memory making like with your dad.
Exactly. But like you said, like it's like you made your bed, now lie in it. Like you're the one that's
Yeah.
riling them up. You put
like
them to bed.
Yeah,
And
like
as
you
we've discussed, like dads can be parents too. Like
Yeah.
you can also put them to bed now that they're all riled
Exactly.
up. Like it does
That's
not
why I
have
kind
to
of
be the
think she
mom's
needs
job.
to like relinquish the
Yeah.
control. It seems like she's a bit controlling around it,
Oh,
where
yeah.
I think she should do what you do, which is like, all right, I'm going in the other room. You do your
or
thing.
like go on a walk. Like if you're so concerned, like maybe, you know, you've been home with the girls all day, they have a lot of energy, which means you should be doing, if they have that much energy, it usually means that you need to be taking them like to do something outside anyway, even if it is really hot outside.
Yes, especially then at 5 p.m. Like it's got to be a little bit cooler.
little bit
That's the time
cooler.
to
You would-
go out during
Yeah.
the heat wave.
Then like if you're overstimulated by the sound and the noise and the like, you know, because you have been with the girls all day, go for a walk. And then you don't hear it and you don't think about your neighbors, and like your neighbors are going to understand that you have young kids.
She clearly just is a little bit uptight, especially like with the wasting of the water, which I do get that, but come on, it's summer.
And it's
And then the
it's in
unhygienic
UK.
thing,
Yeah.
the soil. Kids are gonna get
Also,
dirty.
there's solutions to that. You like put some other, there's whatever. There's like, you get a smaller pool, you have them wash their feet, they go in. Like, there's solutions to that.
These are very solvable problems that she's upset about.
And she's not willing to compromise. And
doesn't sound
same
like it.
same on his side. Like, it does seem like he needs to compromise too, where it's like
For
what
sure.
you were saying, like, okay, Lynn, let's do it like 2 times a week or something. But also, like, the heat wave's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
So, like, let him do it.
Yeah. And you can't have structured play all the time. Even at school, your kids still get like recess and after school.
No, and they need to be able to like be
kids.
creative and imaginary and have
Yeah.
fun, where it's
They need to
not
be
just
bored,
like,
too,
here, let
like-
me learn on my iPad all day and
Exactly.
play games.
You need to be able to make your own fun. You need to be able to figure out how to cope with boredom, like all those things that we wish as adults we were better at doing.
Truly. Well, let's read a couple comments. It can be exhausting to have 2 active children on your hands, especially during a heat wave, but to keep them inside the house with iPad games and language lessons will only compound matters. They both
By the way, can I throw out a theory?
Yes.
I don't think those kids are doing language lessons. I think she
doubt
threw that
it.
in there to win the argument.
Exactly. They're playing games.
They're playing games on that iPad.
They both obviously suffer in the heat, and what better solution to that than playing water games?
Totally.
Then someone else says, when Roy gets home, it's the time to settle the kids down so Linda can start to unwind. It sounds as though Roy chronically undervalues Linda and her role in their family. Roy should move to a 4-day week and be, quote, amused by a day of childcare, cleaning, washing, shopping, and cooking. Sassy.
That's very sassy. Also, I think that
Very European to just be like, you should just work less.
you should just work
Yeah, a
less.
4-day week.
Oh yeah, Roy can just decide to not work a 5th day. We're saying that's a real option here.
Oh my God, I love
That
that.
sounds so nice. Also, I completely disagree with that because he was very insightful into what he thought the problem was in his side of the story, where about like why he thought it was making her upset. And I don't think we should like assume from this scenario, this one scenario, that he completely undervalues his stay-at-home wife. Like that. I mean, you could flip that on its head and say he completely understands that she's been with them all day, and so he is taking them out so
removing
that she can
them.
have a break, because even though he got home from his work day, her work as a stay-at-home mom ends when he gets home. So like you could also say the opposite.
That's true. That's very true. Good point. All right, so whose side are we on?
Definitely is.
I'm definitely on Roy's side. But again, I want to extend the olive branch of empathy to what was her name again?
Linda.
Linda. I want to extend an olive branch to Linda if I do understand that that's got to be frustrating as a perpetrator myself, but I am siding with Roy.
Yeah, I think that this is a solvable problem.
Yeah. A little compromise. Now let's get to our second story. And this one, I think, has something to do with you, perhaps. It's an older child, but it's something that I think you have instilled in your rules. My daughter, 16, has asked me to completely delete all the photos I have ever posted or shared of her from my Facebook. I've had my Facebook since 2010, so that would be 12 years worth of photos from when she was 4. My daughter started using social media at roughly 12 years old when she first got her smartphone. At first, we tried to limit her, but after a few months, we allowed her to have her own social media. Well, about 6 months ago, she started using it less and less until eventually she deleted most of it. She said it was because she started to feel like social media was having a negative impact on her overall image of herself, and she hated the idea of being perceived by random people on the internet.
Good for
She
her.
recently even requested my husband and I stop posting photos of her on our Facebook pages, and I agreed, but when she asked me to go back and delete pictures altogether, I said no.
Ooh.
They are treasured memories for me, and I posted them mostly for family and close friends.
Boo.
I have around 200 Facebook friends, which isn't much by social media standards.
That's true.
And all are at least acquaintances of mine. But my daughter says that because she doesn't know them and will most likely never meet them, that she feels uncomfortable with them being able to see her and no aspect of her life, and even perceiving her existence without her express say-so. My daughter says she feels like she has been deprived of ever being able to live a private life or privacy in general because I have posted photos of her online. I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. The only people to interact with posts with her in them are my friends and family and the occasional distant acquaintance. And they have all only ever said kind things and genuinely celebrated those parts of her life. There are very little photos of my daughter posted just by herself and are mostly photos of the family, which would be me, my husband, and my other children.
Still counts.
I have never posted photos of her that would be seen as inappropriate.
Doesn't matter.
Not that I don't understand the sentiment that posting pictures of children in general can be considered inappropriate.
Did we talk to you about this and that's why you brought this story to us?
Well, actually, this is what happened.
Did you talk to her about it?
No.
Oh, okay.
So remember we went to King's Day last year? Ross and
Yeah.
Della, our friends.
Still have the shirt.
And they were there. Your kids were there.
Yes.
And I took some pictures on my nice camera of them and I posted it accidentally online.
Oh, really?
I posted it on my story. Not accidentally. I did post it on my story.
Sure.
And then Ken was like, did you get their permission? And I was like, wait, what do you mean? And he's like, they don't post them online. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck. And then I took it down.
Oh,
Okay.
that's nice.
And it was only up for a little
The
bit,
way-
just on my
The way you
story.
said that, I was
First
like-
said that
I
was
was like,
such
oh.
a gotcha. I
Yeah,
was
it was
like,
like-
and it's up still. What are we talking about?
I was like, are we about to have a fight? Like,
Well,
are we
this-
about to get physical?
behind the scenes, I was like, Shannon's a very nice person. So I was just like, who is this that just said that to me?
That's so funny.
It's so up there.
That's you want to know what's funny?
Fuck you.
When we were talking about the topics, I asked
my
if
God,
this
that's
is one of the
so
things we should
fucking
talk about,
funny.
and Bernie was like, "No."
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Well, Do you
but
not
I
wanna
mean,
talk
no,
about
we
it?
could talk about it. We could talk about
Okay.
it.
Okay,
But
I'll be gentle.
continue.
But that's the thing is like because I'm not a parent, like I don't think about that stuff ever. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, like this is such a cute photo of him. And I was just
Totally.
posting a bunch of photos from
Yeah.
that day. And I'm
Which you
glad
should
Ken
send us so
said
we can
something
see
to me. I know
them.
I should. I will. I'm glad Ken said something to me, but I was just like, oh, I didn't even ever think about that.
Yeah.
And like my best friend, Michelle, I don't know if she's private or not, but like I post her boys and like I just never think about
Yeah.
that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah,
And so now I'm being like a lot more conscious of that
which
now.
is you asked us before, like if we had talked about some stuff, like what we talked about before the kids were born, and this was actually one of the things we agree on the most,
Yeah.
and talked about like way before either kid was born.
Okay. Yeah.
I, like I said, I'm a reader mom. So I had read an article. Actually, saw a video that was accompanying an article. I think it was it was NPR or maybe The Guardian. That was a group of kids that, like, just like in this story, they were
Mhm.
asking their parents to stop posting, and it was like why the kids wanted the parents to stop posting at like different ages, like 7, 12, like 16 or something.
Oh, okay.
And the parents' reaction to them asking.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the video, it said, on average, there will be 5,000 photos of kids online before they turn 5.
Fact check. Rachel also informed me that it was 1,500 photos before they turned 5. And I put the article in the show notes.
Because on average, that's how
Wow.
often they were
People are
being
posting
people were
that
posting
much?
pictures of their babies and like on different
Mhm.
platforms. May I speak for both of us?
Yeah, I think we're pretty aligned on this one.
Our stance is kind of twofold.
Okay.
Our stance is first that our children have a right to digital privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And until they are old enough to make an informed decision
Mm-hmm.
about what they want their digital footprint to be, and the age of that, is dependent on the kid, and we don't really have like a set number, but like older than infant,
Yes.
that we shouldn't create like a digital footprint for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a world where AI or your potential bosses in 20 years should not be able to see like infant newborn photos of you when you're like naked in the yard,
Yes.
as our children so often are.
Mhm.
And
in the garden.
Yeah, in the garden.
In the garden.
And so that was kind of the first thing, was we wanted to respect that for them, because we didn't grow up in an age where that was an issue. Like we didn't grow up where our parents were posting like tons of photos online of us, and like it impacted.
There was no way to.
And we have no idea what the repercussions of that are.
And I think the kids are getting to that age now. I mean, clearly,
Right.
the story where it is like, oh, like now I have autonomy and I'm realizing I have been on the internet since I was
And you don't
a day
know,
old.
right? You don't know if your kid's going to love it. You don't know if your kid's going to hate it. You
Yes.
just sort of make that decision for them.
And we knew when we kind of made this decision that it would be controversial is not the right word. It would be different than a lot of people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Because are you guys private on Instagram?
I guess, yeah, I like never post.
Yeah,
I haven't posted in years.
I haven't posted. I haven't posted in a long time. There are. I
think
will
we're
say
technically private, right?
we're technically big. Oh, like our accounts.
Our accounts.
Our
Yeah.
accounts are private. Yeah.
Yeah. But you wouldn't even do it on a private account?
No.
No,
Really?
Yeah.
because you just like the security. Like you don't own those photos. You don't own the
And
photos.
you're making
that
the
you
decision
post.
for them.
And you're
Like,
making the yeah.
I like the
Photos.
idea of a lot of agency for
Mhm.
our kids specifically, and I think this kind of goes with that. And I like fully acknowledge that like we're sort of like all the way on one side of this issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We always kind of hardlined it. We were just like, if they want to make that decision one day, like we'll all
let them.
we can we can argue with them about what age they want to start doing it.
Have
But
their own
like
social media.
right, but like before they want to do it, I'm not. We didn't want to,
Yeah.
just
Well, also,
put
you
them in
guys aren't
there.
big on social media anyway, so it's
No,
like a
we're
little
not.
bit easier for you guys.
Yes
but
and
we
yes.
deal with a lot of it with our family.
Yeah, I would.
Right.
Our
Yes
family
and no.
will want to post pictures of them from time to time, and that turns into a discussion. That's again, we're all the way on this side of the issue, so
Yeah.
it's not always the simplest discussion.
I
And
think I hadn't ever, again, obviously, I'm not a parent, so I never really sat with it and thought about it.
Yeah.
you've been talking with us. Let's hear it.
But I mean, I've been thinking about it more recently. And I mean, it would just be so hard for me because I'd be like, they're so cute. Like, I want to post
Totally.
them. And I am so online and like, I'm so
Yeah.
open. And like, obviously, like at the podcast, I talk about everything and stuff. And I feel like it would be so hard for me. But I get the arguments of why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
it's hard. It's
Yeah, oh,
hard
it's
to
so
not
hard.
do it.
It's
Yeah,
so
'cause
hard. Like
they're
you
so
do.
cute.
The
You
urge is
do.
right there.
Yeah, the urge is like, and we have. We should be honest. Like I posted an announcement that both boys were born because I didn't even post that I was pregnant online. So on my Instagram account, there are like two pictures, one of when the boys were born and then one of their first birthday, and that's it. We also like had to kind of compromise with at least my family on social media rules, which is that they have to ask permission to post a photo. They have to be in the photo. It can't just be of my kids.
Oh, okay.
And they're only allowed to do like one post like a year.
Oh, so you do let them post.
But it's very rare, and we kind of made it so uncomfortable for them
that they're
to
like, I'm not
ask
even
that they
going
don't
to
want
go
to.
there.
And it's and I get it because like they are very cute.
And they're proud of them. They
and they're
want their
proud of-
friends to know that like it's like anybody with social media. You want your friends or your close circle to know like, hey, I'm doing fun stuff. I'm doing cool stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Look at what I'm up to.
And
I get the
And you're
instinct.
proud.
for
I get the
that. You're
instinct,
proud.
of
I get the
course.
urge and the instinct.
But you could like text that to your friends.
Well, so
That's
that's
what we-
that's
and
what
we-
we tell them, and that's kind of the two. Sorry.
No. We're agreeing so hard. We're just tripping over each other. Go ahead.
And that's the second part.
Finally, we're in agreement.
So few things we latch onto them, and that's kind of the second part of the argument is the digital autonomy argument and the like. Who are you posting for?
Yes.
Because in the case of family, they're not posting for like the kids. They're not posting for the memory keeping. They're posting for the likes. They're posting for
Right.
the dopamine hits.
Yeah.
And who are you really servicing in that moment? It's not my kids.
Right.
You're not doing it for my kids.
self-serving.
And that became it's still a pretty sticky subject, at least with my family, and I respect that. I know my parents see loads of grandkids
Mhm.
on their Facebook, like other
Friends.
people's grandkids on their Facebook, and they get to enjoy them and they want to like share that with their friends, and I totally understand that. And my response to them is, you can text and email this photo to anyone you want,
True.
but you can't post it on social media. It's not fair to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And
But then they probably are like, well, that's like kind of weird to just be like, because I'm sure they're close friends. They
Yeah.
would be able to do that too. And it'd be like, oh, look how sweet. But
Right.
maybe they're wanting to like, impress or like show it to their neighbor.
Right.
That they would
Totally.
never text.
Totally. And my parents have my family has said as much, that like that is why they wouldn't do that, and they want to just be able to share it because it's easier. And my response is, it's easier for you.
Yeah.
And even the like informed consent of it all is a challenging topic for my parents, because they'll say, well, when does that happen? Like if I ask the older one when he's 7, like I don't think at 7 he's going to give you informed consent. He doesn't know what the internet is. He's not going to know what social media is.
Yes.
Like,
Or he'll know
Yeah,
what it is, but he won't
exactly.
understand.
He won't
understand
the
to
be able
magnitude
to-
of-
and so, and we've had friends like you just said who have inadvertently not known this about us and have
Yes.
posted, and like obviously, we live in a digital world where they will be in the backgrounds. One of the home daycares. We don't even sign the photo consent forms at the daycare.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
every daycare is like, you have to they have like a whole form of like, you have to consent to
yeah.
letting us use your kid's photo, which makes sense in
Yeah.
some level, like with the website, but it's also very like, when it's so present everywhere, you're kind of like, why the fuck does everybody want photos of my children?
Yeah. Michelle always puts a little emoji over everyone else's
Yeah,
I've
seen people do
I've seen
that.
people do that because it's the same respect, right? Like you don't want to be posting other photos of kids.
Mhm.
It's a safety thing for some families.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
it's the internet, and there's all sorts of stuff going on the
Mhm.
internet, and like photos of kids is like kind of a
Well,
sticky
there's
place.
so many of those like social media that are like literally exploiting their children for
Mhm.
likes and everything like that. And some of those like accounts are definitely getting predators
Yeah.
onto those accounts.
Right.
Yeah.
And and there's you can even see that, you were saying you have like a pretty public life.
Mhm.
There's also a divide amongst, A-list celebrities, ones who post constantly their
Yes.
kids and like almost exploit or monetize their kids, and then ones who are very protective of their children
Yes.
because they are so private and they want to
Mhm.
make sure that their kids have that choice.
Yeah.
We aren't public figures,
No.
but
Mhm.
the internet is very public, and so this was this was an easy conversation for
I
us
think
to
so.
have. It's
Yeah.
been an interesting one to see how people react to
To
it,
it.
because
Yeah.
to us it's like very clean.
And I
It's very
understand how
clear.
people, I don't know, for what it's worth, for me personally, if I could break away from you a little bit, I'm not personally concerned about like predators or like, oh, what if like, some weird person sees my kid's photo or whatever.
Mhm.
I'm like 100% in the autonomy camp.
Autonomy,
I'm
yeah.
100% just like, listen, let's pretend it's like age 11. When they
Right.
turn 11, if they want a social media account, you do whatever like, that's what I'll feel like.
Mhm.
But until then, that's like more where I land. Like I'm less concerned about violence, let's say, or some sort of like predatory behavior of like taking my kids' photos and using it for
Yeah.
something else.
Now, do you guys get weird reactions from friends too, or is it mostly like family that are a little bit more pushback?
We had one conversation with 2 couples, one of whom has a 2-year-old and one of whom is pregnant right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they are bigger posters than us. There was some, I don't want to say like pushback, but I think they fundamentally disagreed. And the one who has a 2-year-old does post like on their account all the time. And I think this is definitely one of those situations, like many decisions in parenting. You have to do what's right for your family.
It's just personal, yeah.
You have to do what's right for your family. And this is what's right for our family. In my mind, I don't envision the boys coming to us when they're 16 and being sad that we didn't post when they were like 6 months
No.
old.
Why would they do? I would never think
Yeah.
I
that.
wouldn't.
I mean,
think
as
so.
long as you have photos
have
of them
so
in the
many
photo
photos of
album.
these
Oh my gosh,
children.
we have an obnoxious number of photos of them.
Yeah.
And
we
if one
share-
day they want to post their own infant photos,
Yeah.
They're
go
allowed
for
to
it.
do
Like,
that.
I don't care.
True.
I can't,
Yeah.
on the flip side, I can't imagine children of their generation going like this girl in the story, going to their parents and being like, I don't like this and I don't want you to do this. I think in that
Yes.
story, the fact that the mom was so taken aback by
Against
it is
She's acting like she's gonna lose the photos. Save them or private them or something.
Yeah, and again, like who is that in service of? Because you shouldn't. That's not how you like retain memories for your kids. I mean, we've had other friends who have similarly like posted photos of our kids, and I've asked them to take it down. And one of the daycares asked for a photo release and we didn't sign it. They were like, well, we post on social media for marketing.
Okay, that's crazy. They were insisting.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And it was weird to us. And they were like, well, you know, it's hard because in group photos, like we try to take him out, but he gets upset because he wants to be in the photo. And I said, listen, I will grant you if he's in a group shot, you're allowed to do that. I said, please don't post like portrait style photos.
Yeah, that's so crazy that they wouldn't understand that.
Well, because then that's a public account, and I just think we were surprised that so many parents were okay with it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because the more we talk about it, and because I do feel like we're like, again, on the extreme side of it, the more I feel like the like out there parents. But I like weirdly feel like not in a way that makes me question it, but just it's like. I'm like, yeah, why are we the only ones that like, feel this strongly?
Yeah, it's not the norm for a lot of parents in the digital age.
Really have to think about it.
What's your level that you think you do? Like, would you like bring your kid's name up on your podcast? Would you post? Like, where would you kind of stand on the whole thing, the whole footprint?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have some friends that like will do close friends. They post their kid on close friends.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I have some that just, go all the way out. So what's the reason for not doing it on a private Instagram account? Because it's still out on the internet technically.
I mean, you don't own those photos. Even if your account is private, it means that other people can't see the photos unless they're friends with you. But you don't. This is what makes this sound crazy. Like you don't have control of what happens to those photos.
But even if it's like say I guess because there's also an app called Family Album, I think. My friend does.
We use Google Photos.
Yeah,
basically.
Where she was like, she would put, and we were all on it. So it's if you're gonna make because I was thinking like, oh, if I made a private Instagram account that was just like 50 of my friends or something, but then it's like, well, I could just use that app then.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we just share Google Photos. We use an app for videos called Marco Polo, which is like sending video messages back and forth.
Oh yeah.
We got both of our parents like what are they called? Aura frames, which are like digital photo frames that we can upload.
I think the reality of like the private Instagram of it all is that we're just not encountering a situation where it's like, what, I just want to post to this private Instagram that literally only has the grandparents as followers. It's never that. It's always somebody wants to post it to everyone that they follow and follows them on Instagram. And like whatever that spray shot is, it's not like, oh my God, it's just close friends and family. It's always everyone of your friends.
It's friends of friends, because you have to then control. Well, maybe less on Instagram, but on Facebook, you have to control the privacy settings of everyone around you.
And then maybe that then also like, well, if you guys are posting them, then why can't I post them like for grandparents, So it's like, okay, if like we're drawing this line in the sand, like then we all have to like abide by these rules.
Yeah. It's one of those things that like is simplifying our life.
Yeah.
We made a couple of exceptions. The exceptions still cause drama sometimes.
Yeah.
And
which,
by the way, none of this should matter. Like,
I know.
Yeah,
Why
it's
do
a
they care
fucking
so
photo.
much?
Like, who cares?
Because it's not. It's who is it in service of, and to us, it's not in the story. It's not in service of the mom of the girl.
Yeah.
She's literally asking the mom to take it down, and the mom is saying no. That's the mom's ego coming into play, not the daughter's.
Exactly. And she's being like very mature about like realizing at 16 years old that social media is so negatively affecting her.
Like I'm so impressed by her.
How I am perceiving myself and how I'm feeling about myself. So like I just want like a clean slate. Let's just get it all out there and maybe I'll have better mental health. But exactly, she's choosing her own ego. And also, by the way, if you want to find the ugliest photos of me out there on the internet, they are on my mom's Facebook page. She cannot post a good photo of me, I swear. She'll just go like this. A candid photo, I'm not even looking. And like my sister and I are always like, oh, if she's going to take a picture, it's like, we got to look really good because she's just putting it out there.
We were part of a student group in college, and the director of the student group had a habit of posting pictures of people like eating food like halfway. It's like, it was like a joke that like if she was around with a camera, everyone would stop eating because she'd try to take a photo.
Yeah.
There are a lot of photos of me eating all sorts of food on the internet. But I consented to that, right? Like I was in college, I was an adult, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Although I'm not consenting to the ones on my mom's profile.
This is
okay?
a real issue.
I need to go through them and like delete them because they're bad.
Yeah.
What can we do about this?
Charla, we're looking at you.
Charla.
I can kind of understand with the mom where it's like, oh, but it's like all of our cute like family photos, but no one's going on your Facebook and like looking at your past photos. On Facebook and
Right.
social media, like you see the latest ones that they're posting, you know? So if
Yeah.
like going forward, you're not posting her anymore, why do you care if all of you have the archive of them? Because nobody's
Totally.
going back and looking at them. So delete them or private them, I guess.
I think like phones have made it, and you know, there's a bunch of like different tech to solve this problem, but like we don't have family albums anymore. Like you
Yeah.
use social media as your family
album.
album,
I guess I see
and
that.
you know, we're trying to print a lot more photos
I know.
for us because the boys do want to look at them. The boys want to look at their own
Cute.
I
photos.
forgot. Yeah.
And so I think that's why maybe the mom feels that way, is because she's not printing those photos when in
Mhm.
reality, I mean, we take thousands of photos on our phones and maybe don't want to print thousands of photos, but like
Yes.
print the good ones. If
Yeah.
you have a favorite one, if she's asking you to take it down, have the like little nostalgic moment, save it to your hard
Save
drive,
it, print it out,
print it
put
out.
it in an album that you can then
Mhm.
go and look at.
And anytime someone comes over to your house, you can share it to them. But
Yeah, bring it out.
Like we
Oh,
did
take
that
it
in the
around.
times of
Oh,
yore.
Grandma.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I get the family photo album instinct. That's a very interesting angle of it. I do really see that version of it. So on that level, I see where this mom is coming from. But yeah, I'm with the team here. I
Yeah.
think you gotta delete the photos.
Because I've heard that they're saying that this time in the world will be called like the digital dark ages, because like everything is like, you know, I've literally lost years of photos because I lost a hard drive and that I like didn't print out. And so those years are literally just like my Facebook albums that are privated.
Mhm.
Like no one can see them, but I go into them and I'm like, those are some of the photos that I literally have left of like my early adulthood
Yeah.
or
Right.
teenage. And so I do like them still being there, but I don't want people to see them because they're like my awful college photos, you know?
Yeah.
And so I
Yes.
get like kind of wanting to keep it all there. And same with like my Instagram photos. If like I went through and deleted a ton, but I just archived them. So like I can still go and, you know, see them at some point, because we really are like living in this time where everything is digital and like it can all just get wiped away and we don't
Yeah.
have physical like photos anymore. So I do understand her wanting to keep them on there, but I don't see the problem of like Facebook. You literally can private it where no one can see it.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
just
I
do
didn't
that.
I didn't even know you could do that. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's for us, it's just one of those hard.
Yeah.
and we haven't
lines.
agreed on it.
Respect.
So I think that makes it easier, at least internally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a good lesson for me.
There you go.
Can't just be posting kids out there.
Can't just be posting everyone's kid over
I
at
know.
the
Like, look
King's
how
Day
cute.
festival.
That's so funny.
That is very funny.
We would have
That
had
was such a gotcha moment.
That
I
was-
enjoyed that so much in retrospect. Just the look on your face.
It was like, what did you thought I would just still, it was still out there? I delivered
the way
it wrong.
you delivered
Yeah,
the
the
line,
way you
I
delivered it was
like,
so funny.
What?
well, and because I thought
Your
it was
guys'
like
faces, I was like, oh no.
well, because we had
I'm
such
in
a
trouble.
specific we had such a specific conversation that like we were like, maybe like this isn't like an interesting thing because it's so niche, like to
Yes.
us, this like how we feel about social media. And so the fact that you brought it up was just like, we had like a, oh shoot, did you tell her? Oh, did you tell her moment like over here while you were saying that? And I was like, what's happening?
No, I found out firsthand. I was scolded.
You were the culprit.
What a good friend in Ken.
I know.
I know.
Ken, dude, shout out to Ken.
Shout out to Ken.
The best guy. All right, let's wrap it up on a little drama of the week.
Ooh.
We recorded this a month ago, so it's more like drama from last month, but still juicy.
So, Love Island, a
course.
reality show where a bunch of hot 20-somethings go down to Fiji. And the point of the show is that they are all supposed to explore all of their options and are not supposed to couple up right away. So we have two characters here, two people who got coupled up right away, really quickly, really hot and heavy,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Huda is her name. She's 24 and she has a daughter who is 4 years old. She had her at 19. And she's going into this Love Island experiment and she doesn't want to tell any of the men that she had a child. And so her sort of feeling around it is that she wants them to like get to know her for her.
Yeah.
She doesn't want them for that to like change their opinion of her. So we're going to act out when she tells him, okay? But then we will also then
We can-
discuss
Yes.
what our thoughts on that are
Yes.
because there was a lot of discourse online about
Oh, I bet.
Huda
what
and
people
Jeremiah.
think, Huda and Jeremiah. So at one point before she tells him, they're talking about like their living situations, and she says how she lives has an apartment. And it's a 2-bedroom. And 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And he asks what the other room is for. And she says, oh, I'll tell you later, which he finds kind of strange. So then 4 days into the experiment, again, they're very hot and heavy.
Yes.
She finally tells him. And now Bernie and Rachel are going to be acting
I have
out.
to try to do this without laughing.
We're going to do this.
Okay.
I'll do stage directions.
Okay.
And then-
Perfect. That was my first question.
I did want to bring something up because I wanted to be honest with you and I wanted to make sure that, I really trusted you and really liked you. I'm a mom.
Shocked and stumbling.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me. Oh my God.
You okay?
You're a mom and you're 24?
Yeah.
How many kids?
One.
He's so bewildered and shocked he can't even look at her.
I wanted to hey, can you look at me?
Drops his head into his palms.
Hold on. I can't.
She starts tearing up.
Damn. That is a fucking bomb. I can't even lie. I did not expect that.
Offended.
It's a bomb.
Not in a bad way. That's just a lot of news.
That's why I'm such a homebody. That's why I have a 2-bedroom.
Ah, I thought it was like so stupid, like a sex room, because you didn't want to talk about it.
End scene.
I mean, come on.
Good job.
For your
Good job.
actors.
Good job.
Now, at this point, he does say it isn't a deal breaker, but he is very, trepidatious, I should say,
Sure.
about it.
Ooh, trepidatious. That's good.
Great word.
And she tells him like, I don't want to tell anyone, or the girls already know, but she doesn't want to tell the other guy. She wants to tell them on her own time.
Mm-hmm.
But then he goes and runs and tells someone right after.
Yeah, of course he does.
Jeremiah. Psh.
And I don't think he handled it very well. But so far they're still together. They're still coupled up, very hot and heavy.
This is the current Love Island season.
Current Love Island.
Wow.
So there's a new episode tomorrow. So that's where we stand right now. None of the other boys know. Now, what are your thoughts on withholding this information?
That's a good question. I think it's fair of her. I don't think you have to be defined by being a mom,
Mhm.
especially in like this sex island situation.
Sex Island.
You know what I mean? Though you're not like
You
applying.
can tell we really watch that show, don't we?
No, I'm being blunt about what the show is.
It's so true.
I think it's fair of her to not have to open with that. And I think that like she had to tell him eventually. So it's like, it would have been worse if it was like 2 weeks in. It would have been maybe, you can debate when she should have told him. But the reality is she doesn't owe it to him the minute she meets him. She doesn't owe it to him on day one. Like she's very clearly, well, according to you, she's very clearly trying to be not defined by it. So
Right.
therefore, this was theoretically going to have to happen eventually.
Mhm.
So like, I don't see her as having done anything wrong here.
Okay.
Was that like the question, or was it just like
Yeah.
I have no
curious.
problem with the way that she's handling this.
Okay,
Seems
interesting.
pretty reasonable.
What are your thoughts?
I kind of agree. I think that it's common, like if you're a single parent, you can decide if you want to have that be like one of the things you bring up initially,
Yeah.
or if you just want, you know, if she wants to have like an open experience and the full experience, that could close off a lot of potential partnerships. And I can imagine that it would be challenging to feel open. I also have a hard time not talking about my kids, and so
That would be so
I don't know.
hard.
Well, and it's not like they got engaged and then she told him.
Right.
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 It's like this
They're
is still
dating.
in the throes of courtship. Like it's
Yeah,
Yes.
I think, and you know, we made a joke at the start of this that like our defining characteristics are we're married and we're parents. But
Yeah.
obviously, the reason that was funny was because we're not just married and we're not just
exactly.
parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think that like when you're a single parent, you don't want to be defined by your single parentness. And so you should have the right to tell and divulge that information when it's comfortable for you.
In a sex island situation.
In a
Yeah.
sex island situation, I don't think it's I'm sure he's being a little dramatic. I can understand why that would be shocking, but if you actually cared about the person, it shouldn't be
Deal breaker.
a big deal.
Yeah.
What do you
Because
think?
I feel like there
Tell
is
us.
some like discrimination, I guess, that could happen in this situation if she like comes out with just like it's like, oh, that's the single mom. Like let's all stay away from her because
Yeah.
they really are all under like 27 years old. So
And
like
I'm so sorry because I'm not a huge reality head. Are they trying to get married at the end of this, or
not
they're just
married,
hooking up?
just like hooking up and like finding I guess like oh, it's a voting thing. And so it's like it's happening literally right now. Like they're down there in Fiji.
Yeah.
And so they're filming like a couple days ahead of what airs. And so we like can vote them off the island. And then at
We
the
can vote them
end,
off.
yes, the
Nice.
people. So get on it. But at the end, like a couple wins and then they win like the whatever $100,000 cash prize.
For hooking up.
There is like a little bit of strategic to
The
it, but like
Yeah.
really what you want is that you want to have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And then like people, America or whatever,
America.
whoever will
Fiji.
vote for you. Fiji will vote for
It's
you.
mostly people from Fiji voting.
But they are all like looking for love. But there's no like The Bachelor where you're getting engaged.
Yeah, gotcha.
Got it.
Yeah, then the mom thing just seems way less important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
Like super not important. If anything, I'd withhold it for longer because like the drama of
Yeah.
when she drops the bomb.
Yeah, and if you want to win the
drama.
game.
If you want to win the game.
Yeah, now that I think of it at that perspective, I think I was more of the mindset of like, because she was sort of like, you know, I want them to like get to know me and love me. But
Totally.
then like you do kind of like drop this bomb on them then where it's like you get them
The mom bomb?
invested, the mom bomb,
Yeah,
Mom
there we
bomb.
go.
where like you're getting them like to, you know, really quote fall for you because it literally has only been like 4 days, but also in like reality TV time, you're spending like 24 hours together. It does. I've
very
heard it
intense.
feels like it's like, you know, it feels like 20 dates or whatever in that period of time. But I was sort of feeling like, because I do think when you're out there dating in the real world, usually that would come up on like a first date thing or even like
Mhm, for sure.
on your Tinder profile.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
it
says
might.
like that you have that you are. But I'm sure everybody has like a different way that they go about it. But I do think that say I were going on a date with a guy, it's the first date and like he didn't, and then he tells me at any point after the first date that he has a kid, I would be like, oh,
Yes.
like that is kind of strange that you didn't mention that. And like,
Yeah,
did you even find out that I would be okay with like, you know, being a step parent or like that
Sure.
I even want kids. And so it would
Yeah.
feel like a little bit of a misdirect to me.
Yeah, I think maybe in real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's throw it out this way though, right? In the real world, where the point of dating is long-term companionship,
True.
however you define that. Let's say you're casually dating in your 20s and you're like, everyone I'm
Yeah.
dating, I'm not going to be their girlfriend. I'm not getting married to them. Like
You
then
don't
it's
need to
arguably the
tell the
same
truth.
situation of like, then what do you care?
True.
Because like you're not committing to this.
This is the holiday. This is the plot of the holiday.
They don't
Jude
have
Law's
kids.
character has 2 kids.
You're right.
And doesn't tell Cameron Diaz,
Mm.
and she like comes over with wine, and he's like,
Oh, she thinks it's like his niece and nephew or something,
or she
right?
like thought that he was talking to like another like
I
woman.
think she thought it was infidelity.
It
but
was,
children.
but like they were
Right.
just like
Classic
casually
rom-com.
dating, and she
Classic.
didn't live there, and it was like this is that.
This is the holiday.
This is
Yeah.
everything can always be attributed to the holiday.
But the other thing too, though, is that people are looking for love. Like they genuinely are looking. It's not just like Sex Island. Like it literally is Love Island, and they all go on and they like find me the love of my life. Like
Okay.
they really are kind of going on for that. They're
I don't
mean,
know why I
really,
thought it was like they were just hooking up on this
well,
show.
it is a lot of that
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
I just got to know what the rules are.
There's
here.
a lot going. There's a lot going on. I mean, at the end of the day, they're all going on for clout. They all want to be famous.
I know that's every
I'd like to
reality.
see the statistics on how many of them are still dating.
They're
still
all
together.
lies, Rachel. Every statistic you've ever heard of.
It's a
It's
lot.
a fucking lie.
Stats.
It's not even called Sex Island. Did you know that?
But just how quickly these two have like coupled up, and I think some of the other people are annoyed with them that they're not exploring their other options and stuff. They are talking about like moving in together afterwards. Like they are getting very hot and heavy with it. So
and is it 4 because you said it was day 4. 4 days of dating?
yes.
Okay.
So I don't know. I also do 100% understand her perspective of like as a 24-year-old being a really young mom, like you probably do feel like maybe even that like people would look at you as if you weren't even like hot anymore because like you're a mom, you know, where it's like you just have
like
that
you're
feeling
seen as
where-
less desirable.
Yeah, like you're like
For
you
sure.
just feel like you're older now or something, and
Or like your
you have a lot of
commitment.
baggage.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
like
baggage,
stuff.
whatever. Not that I believe that, but I could see that
totally.
opinion.
Especially
of
from like a 25-year-old guy.
Well, yeah, because like you're like all of a sudden like your commitment to this person involves another person,
Yes.
and so it feels like a lot more. You have to be a lot more serious a lot faster. Maybe I don't know.
True, it's not as like fun and flirty hookups.
There's stakes
are
behind
so
it.
much
Stakes are
higher.
higher.
So I can definitely see feeling that way. You know, like in the acting world, like I feel like I have to a lot of times, you know, like lie about age or something like that because you don't want to like be discriminated against. And I kind of feel like that's how she's feeling.
Yeah, I can understand why she protected that information. I think in real life, the information coming sooner makes more sense. And the thing that creates higher stakes is like, when do you introduce that child to the person you're dating?
Yes.
But being a mom is like fundamental to who I am, but I don't like disclose that to every random person.
Yeah.
In a situation where it's like an earnest attempted dating, maybe let's argue whatever you're going to define as the second date. Maybe it would be fair to bring it up then.
Yeah.
Like
you don't
in
need
a
to divulge it,
situation
yeah.
where you just sort of think it's like casual dating, we'll call it that,
Yeah,
or whatever's
yeah.
analogous to that. I don't really think you owe them anything.
Yeah. You don't even have to tell them your real name. You don't got to tell them anything.
Right. Yeah.
Casual hookups. But I also do think it's very valid if he were to like walk away from the situation, because not everyone's on board with wanting to be a step parent if that's the road you're going down.
or like ready to be a parent. And I think that that's
true
valuable
At age
information
25.
at age 25. And I think that's valuable. I think it's important for him to be upfront with her about that too, because like then she is wasting, especially on the show, she is wasting her time and not exploring other potential options. And it's like that is an aspect of her life that is going to be constant and is not going to change. And if he can't get on board with that, then I think he needs to be upfront about it pretty soon.
Especially because, you know, they are all entering into this phase in their life where they're like all about to be like semi-famous. And so like, oh, okay, so do you really think that you'll be ready to like settle down and start taking care of a child now, you know?
Right. Now
like,
that you're now that your cloud is kind of
exactly
rising.
like you're probably want to go out and like party and, you know, be seen at events and things like that. So
I tend to feel like that's the type of person that goes on a reality show.
for sure.
Yeah.
But she probably is like that too, you know?
That's true.
But I feel like she probably is going into the the situation more in earnest than he is about like finding a partner.
That's a good question. I don't know if I necessarily would give her that.
I don't know. I don't think I'm a cynic. I don't know if anybody goes on those shows actually
To
looking.
look for love.
Come on.
She's probably, I mean, honestly, like money, really. It's a career. I mean, they're going to like get brand deals and shit afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, in that instance, for sure.
But she seems like she's doing that though. Like she seems like
She's
she is
giving off
like
those
trying
vibes.
to lock him down. Yeah, like she, like it's very hot and heavy, like a little too soon.
And how's he feeling about it though? Does he feel like
Yeah, like when he went and told the other
is he
person, like,
reciprocating, or
what
is
did he
yeah.
say?
Can you believe that? It was a girl he talked to about it.
Did she tell him that all the girls knew?
Actually, I don't know. It's a good question. But no, he was like, oh, you knew? Like he told her and then he was like, oh, you knew? So he didn't know that she knew actually.
Yeah.
I do think in real life it should have come out earlier, but I do understand her like going on and yeah, at the end of the day, they are playing a game. And so you
Yeah.
want to be able to put your best foot forward, I guess.
Now I'm questioning. I'm so stuck in like, well, what is this show?
I
Like,
know.
What are they trying to do
we're
here?
gonna get
I
you
think-
hooked on it now.
I think in the show it's fair.
I think I'm gonna choose to define the show as casual hookups where they're trying to win money and be like everyone's favorite couple, but they're not in earnest trying to get married,
Yeah.
or let's even say be partners in the real world. And because I choose to define it as that, I'm
Then
gonna call
it's
it fair.
Okay. But then you think in the real world, by the second date, that information.
Yeah,
Yes, I think second
definitely.
date
the
feels
first
fair.
date, it's okay to keep it off the table.
I think it depends on. I think it would depend on how the first date is going. But I think like if you're on a first date and you're like not sure if this is gonna lead to a second or even a third date, like I don't think you need to divulge that information. But if you like at the end, you're like, actually that was a really good
Yeah.
like first date, and I'd love to go on a
That's
second
sort
date.
of where my head
Then
was
you
at
would
as well.
then you would do it. You don't want to drop it at the very end of the date and be like, oh, by the way, I have a child.
Yeah.
Like,
The mom bomb.
the mom
You
bomb.
want to drop the mom bomb?
I think also on the first date, if you leaving that information out leads to you lying about other parts of your life, then you should tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're like asking about like your living situation, or if
Yeah.
they straight up asked you like, oh, do you want to have kids? Oh, like maybe
I sort of
one day.
have one.
You have to be like, I
Yeah.
have one.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, you shouldn't base. a
But if
relationship
you're
on a
able to
lie.
get through the first date without that information, like affecting how you're
Yeah.
presenting yourself, then I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I think,
think
again, I
so.
think like you can compartmentalize that part of your life the same way that like when you and I go to work, like we can just talk about work and not talk about the kids all the time
Mhm.
at work, or at least I can.
you can.
Can you?
No. No, people ask me about my kids all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like the way that you can compartmentalize like your story or explain yourself any way you want to and present yourself any way that you want to. I think
it just would be good not to like avoid lying.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not condoning lying at all. I'm envisioning like a conversation where it's unless it
or
was
you're
directly
skirting around it
yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
If it's date number 2 and it hasn't come up, it is on you to bring it up
Yeah,
at that
yeah,
point.
yeah. If
Yeah.
they haven't asked, but if they haven't
Ideally,
asked-
you're bringing it up date 1, but like I wouldn't blame you if I was dating a woman and she had a kid and it didn't come up date number 1,
Mhm.
and then she brought it up date number 2. I wouldn't be like, that was fucking weird of you to not say date 1. I'd be like, oh, you really directly brought it up this date. I
Yeah.
guess it didn't come up last date.
I think there's
No
also
harm, no foul.
Right. I should be asking more questions.
yeah.
It's on me. I talked for 3 hours straight and then said, have a good evening.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think it's also an age thing. Like if you're in your early 20s, I would assume like I think most people would assume you wouldn't have a kid, and like the prospect of having kids is what you're talking about. But I think if you're like in your mid 30s or later and that's like a more
Common question.
it's a more common thing because
Yeah.
you're more likely, especially if like you're divorced or if you're widowed or like newly single, like you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
think like as you get older, it's actually easier to talk about and bring
Mhm.
up because the likelihood of you
That's-
being a parent is higher.
Yeah, 24. I doubt a 25-year-old guy would even ask
No.
any
Yeah.
type of question like this at that age.
Yeah, it's so funny to talk about stuff like this because we've been together so long that
That's why I'm
Yeah,
laughing.
you're like never even
we've been
had
together longer than app dating has
dating
existed.
experience. Yeah.
Well, no, it existed before we started dating, but it was not socially acceptable.
Yeah, so it's like very funny for us to have these conversations because we're
Oh,
like we're
like
speculating so
Match.com.
hard right now.
Well, I was also laughing because you were like, yeah, 25, probably don't have a kid, but in your 30s, it's a little more reasonable. And I was like, yeah, except in Los Angeles, where fucking no one has kids before like
Literally.
37.
All our
I
parent
know,
friends
you
are
guys
like a
the
decade
only
older than
ones.
us.
Every single one of our parent friends is
We-
celebrating a 40th birthday.
Yeah, we've been invited to
this year.
two. We've been invited to two 40th birthdays
We were
this
just
year.
going back and forth between weddings and 40ths.
Oh my
It's like, what an
God.
existence we have.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thanks
Thank you for having us, Shannon.
I'm so glad to get some parents' perspective. And I hope you guys enjoyed that too. Because I had 2 episodes of me just being like, I'm terrified. Not going to do it. But you know what? You have moved my needle a little bit.
You just got to do it.
I will.
Or
In
don't.
due time.
When
Whatever you
you're
wanna do.
ready.
No, I will. It'll just be a couple more years, few more years.
Well,
see.
I'm in your mom corner when you need it.
Yes, thank you. I'll be hitting you up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I'll be awake.
She will still be awake.
You're the one that needs sleep training now.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That was great. That was so good.
Wow.
It's very funny.
That's true.
Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Instagram. That's where all the polls are. And drop some comments.
Yeah.
Spotify,
Yeah.
let us know what you disagreed with.
We know you have thoughts on everything we talked about today.
Parents have so many parenting opinions.
Yep.
Yep.
This should be the most commented on episode.
Well, please give me some interactions. I need them. Thank you guys so much for listening. And remember, you can't spell drama without D.